Question 1. What is the primary role of law enforcement officers in Michigan? A. Enforcing traffic laws. B. Protecting and serving the community. C. Handling administrative tasks. D. Providing legal advice. Correct answer. B. Protecting and serving the community. Explanation. Law enforcement officers in Michigan are primarily responsible for protecting and serving the community. This includes maintaining public safety, preventing crime, and enforcing laws to ensure the well-being of all residents. The concept of protect and serve is deeply ingrained in the ethos of law enforcement agencies, emphasizing the duty of officers to safeguard the rights and security of individuals within their jurisdiction. Question 2. Officer Smith responds to a domestic violence call involving a married couple in Detroit. The husband is physically assaulting his wife, and she appears to be in immediate danger. What should Officer Smith do in this situation? A. Convince the wife to leave her husband and file for divorce. B. Arrest the husband and ensure the safety of the wife. C. Ignore the situation and let the couple resolve their issues on their own. D. Provide counseling to the couple and mediate their dispute. Correct answer. B. Arrest the husband and ensure the safety of the wife. Explanation. In cases of domestic violence where there is evidence of physical assault or imminent harm, law enforcement officers in Michigan are required to take immediate action to protect the victim and uphold the law. This typically involves arresting the perpetrator, separating the parties involved, and providing support and resources to the victim. Ignoring the situation or attempting to mediate the dispute could result in further harm or escalation of violence, underscoring the importance of swift and decisive intervention by responding officers. Question 3. Which of the following is not considered an ethical principle in law enforcement in Michigan? A. Integrity. B. Transparency. C. Prejudice. D. Accountability. Correct answer. C. Prejudice. Explanation. Ethical conduct is an essential element of law enforcement professionalism in Michigan, encompassing principles such as integrity, transparency, and accountability. Prejudice, on the other hand, contradicts the core values of fairness, equality, and respect for diversity that are integral to effective policing. Officers are expected to act without bias or discrimination, treating all individuals with dignity and without prejudice based on race, ethnicity, gender, religion, or other personal characteristics. Upholding ethical standards is crucial to building trust with the community and maintaining the legitimacy of law enforcement practices. Question 4. When conducting a criminal investigation in Michigan, what is the primary purpose of collecting evidence? A. To incriminate suspects. B. To establish probable cause. C. To secure convictions. D. To determine the truth. Correct answer. D. To determine the truth. Explanation. The primary purpose of collecting evidence in a criminal investigation is to determine the truth of what occurred. Evidence serves as a factual basis for establishing the sequence of events, identifying perpetrators, and validating or refuting claims made during the investigation. It is essential for law enforcement officers in Michigan to gather, analyze, and preserve evidence in a thorough and methodical manner to ensure the accuracy and integrity of the investigative process. Question 5. Which of the following is not a recommended de-escalation technique for managing volatile situations as a law enforcement officer in Michigan? A. Active listening. B. Establishing rapport. C. Aggressive confrontation. D. Maintaining a calm demeanor. Correct answer. C. Aggressive confrontation. Explanation. Aggressive confrontation is not a recommended de-escalation technique for managing volatile situations as a law enforcement officer in Michigan. Instead, officers are trained to employ strategies such as active listening, establishing rapport, and maintaining a calm demeanor to diffuse tense interactions and reduce the potential for escalation to violence. Approaching confrontations with aggression or hostility can exacerbate conflicts and undermine efforts to achieve peaceful resolutions, highlighting the importance of using communication skills and non-confrontational tactics in managing volatile situations. Question 6. Officer Martinez is patrolling a neighborhood in Ann Arbor when she observes a group of teenagers vandalizing public property. What should Officer Martinez do in this situation? A. Ignore the vandalism and continue patrolling the area. B. Approach the teenagers aggressively and issue citations. C. Assess the safety of the situation and intervene appropriately. D. Confront the teenagers without assessing the risks involved. Correct answer. C. Assess the safety of the situation and intervene appropriately. Explanation. When encountering incidents of vandalism or illegal activity, law enforcement officers in Michigan are required to assess the safety of the situation before intervening. Officer Martinez should evaluate the risks involved, consider the potential for escalation, and determine the appropriate level of intervention based on the circumstances. Prioritizing the safety of both the officer and the individuals involved is essential to maintaining control of the situation and upholding public order while ensuring a positive outcome for all parties. Question 7. In Michigan, what legal principle governs the admissibility of evidence obtained through an unlawful search or seizure by law enforcement? A. Exclusionary rule. B. Plain view doctrine. C. Good faith exception. D. Inevitable discovery doctrine. Correct answer. A. Exclusionary rule. Explanation. In Michigan, the exclusionary rule governs the admissibility of evidence obtained through an unlawful search or seizure by law enforcement. This principle prohibits the use of evidence that was obtained in violation of a suspect's constitutional rights, such as the Fourth Amendment protection against unreasonable searches and seizures. The exclusionary rule serves to deter law enforcement misconduct, protect individual liberties, and ensure that the criminal justice system operates with integrity and adherence to procedural safeguards. Question 8. When responding to a traffic accident in Michigan, what is the primary objective of law enforcement officers? A. Determining fault and assigning blame. B. Documenting the scene for insurance purposes. C. Providing medical care to those injured. D. Ensuring public safety and facilitating traffic flow. Correct answer. D. Ensuring public safety and facilitating traffic flow. Explanation. The primary objective of law enforcement officers when responding to a traffic accident in Michigan is to ensure public safety and facilitate the flow of traffic. Officers are responsible for securing the accident scene, assisting those involved, directing traffic as needed, and maintaining order to prevent additional collisions or hazards. By prioritizing the safety of motorists and pedestrians, officers can effectively manage the aftermath of accidents and mitigate potential risks to individuals and property. Question 9. Which of the following best describes the concept of community policing in Michigan? A. Reactive approach to crime prevention. B. Isolation of law enforcement from the community. C. Collaboration between police and residents to address public safety issues. D. Centralized decision-making by law enforcement agencies. Correct answer. C. Collaboration between police and residents to address public safety issues. Explanation. Community policing in Michigan involves a collaborative approach between law enforcement agencies and community members to address public safety issues and build trust-based relationships. This model emphasizes proactive engagement, problem-solving, and mutual cooperation in identifying and resolving local concerns related to crime, disorder, and quality of life. By working together with residents, businesses, and organizations, law enforcement officers can enhance crime prevention efforts, increase community resilience, and foster a sense of shared responsibility for maintaining safe and vibrant neighborhoods. Question 10. In Michigan, what legal doctrine allows law enforcement officers to use force in self-defense or defense of others? A. Miranda warning. B. Castle Doctrine. C. Doctrine of probable cause. D. Justifiable use of force. Correct answer. D. Justifiable use of force. Explanation. The principle of justifiable use of force in Michigan allows law enforcement officers to use force, including lethal force, in self-defense or defense of others under circumstances where such actions are deemed necessary and reasonable. This legal doctrine is based on the concept of proportionality, requiring officers to employ force that is commensurate with the threat presented and intended to achieve a lawful objective, such as protecting themselves or innocent individuals from harm. Adherence to established use of force policies, training standards, and legal guidelines is essential to ensuring that officers apply force judiciously and in accordance with constitutional principles and professional standards. Question 11. What is the significance of the Fourth Amendment to law enforcement practices in Michigan? A. Protects individuals against unreasonable searches and seizures. B. Allows for warrantless searches in all circumstances. C. Provides immunity to law enforcement officers from legal scrutiny. D. Prohibits the use of evidence in criminal trials. Correct answer. A. Protects individuals against unreasonable searches and seizures. Explanation. The Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution protects individuals in Michigan, and throughout the country, against unreasonable searches and seizures by law enforcement. This constitutional safeguard requires officers to obtain warrants based on probable cause before conducting searches or seizures, except in certain exigent circumstances. Adherence to the Fourth Amendment ensures that law enforcement activities are conducted lawfully, respecting the privacy and rights of individuals while upholding the integrity of criminal investigations and prosecutions. Question 12. When conducting a crime scene investigation in Michigan, what is the purpose of preserving evidence integrity? A. Preventing tampering with evidence. B. Exaggerating the severity of the crime. C. Enhancing the appearance of thorough investigation. D. Expediting the resolution of the case. Correct answer. A. Preventing tampering with evidence. Explanation. Preserving evidence integrity in a crime scene investigation in Michigan is essential to prevent tampering with evidence, maintain the chain of custody, and uphold the reliability and credibility of forensic findings. Ensuring that physical evidence is documented, collected, and stored properly helps to protect against contamination, loss, or alteration that could compromise the investigative process and jeopardize the outcome of criminal proceedings. Law enforcement officers must adhere to established protocols and best practices for evidence preservation to safeguard the integrity and probative value of forensic evidence in criminal cases. Question 13. Officer Thompson is dispatched to a mental health crisis involving an individual threatening self-harm in Lansing. What approach should Officer Thompson take in this situation? A. Use force to restrain the individual. B. Provide counseling and advice. C. Seek assistance from mental health professionals. D. Disregard the individual's mental state and proceed as usual. Correct answer. C. Seek assistance from mental health professionals. Explanation. When responding to mental health crises in Michigan, law enforcement officers like Officer Thompson should prioritize the well-being and safety of individuals in distress. Seeking assistance from mental health professionals, crisis intervention teams, or specialized resources can help address the unique needs of individuals experiencing mental health challenges and ensure that appropriate support and interventions are provided. Collaborating with mental health experts can facilitate de-escalation, promote access to treatment and resources, and help prevent escalation of crises into potentially harmful situations. Question 14. In Michigan, what legal principle governs the use of deadly force by law enforcement officers? A. Strict liability. B. Reasonable suspicion. C. Probable cause. D. Objective reasonableness. Correct answer. D. Objective reasonableness. Explanation. The legal standard of objective reasonableness governs the use of deadly force by law enforcement officers in Michigan, as established by federal and state laws, court rulings, and law enforcement agency policies. This standard requires officers to assess the circumstances objectively and determine whether the use of deadly force was necessary and proportionate in light of the threat presented. Factors such as the immediacy of the threat, the severity of the crime, and the actions of the suspect are considered in evaluating the reasonableness of an officer's use of force. Adherence to the objective reasonableness standard helps ensure accountability, transparency, and lawful conduct in law enforcement operations. Question 15. What role does forensic science play in criminal investigations in Michigan? A. Determines the guilt or innocence of suspects. B. Provides definitive proof of a crime. C. Analyzes and interprets physical evidence. D. Substitutes eyewitness testimony. Correct answer. C. Analyzes and interprets physical evidence. Explanation. Forensic science plays a vital role in criminal investigations in Michigan by analyzing and interpreting physical evidence to establish facts, link suspects to crime scenes, and support criminal prosecutions. Forensic experts utilize scientific techniques and methodologies to examine biological, chemical, digital, and physical evidence, such as DNA, fingerprints, ballistics, and trace materials, to reconstruct events, identify perpetrators, and facilitate the administration of justice. The objective, systematic, and impartial nature of forensic analysis contributes to the reliability and credibility of evidence presented in court, aiding in the resolution of criminal cases. Question 16. What is the primary objective of report writing in law enforcement in Michigan? A. Justifying officer actions and decisions. B. Creating a narrative for entertainment purposes. C. Providing a detailed account of incidents. D. Concealing information from the public. Correct answer. C. Providing a detailed account of incidents. Explanation. The primary objective of report writing in law enforcement in Michigan is to provide a detailed, accurate, and objective account of incidents, investigations, and interactions that officers are involved in. Police reports serve as official documentation of events, actions taken, evidence collected, and observations made during the course of law enforcement activities. Report writing ensures that information is documented, preserved, and communicated effectively within the agency, to other stakeholders, and for legal purposes. Clear, thorough, and well-written reports are essential for maintaining accountability, professionalism, and transparency in law enforcement operations. Question 17. What key principle guides the use of force policies and procedures for law enforcement officers in Michigan? A. Absolute discretion. B. Minimum necessary force. C. Unrestricted authority. D. Excessive force tolerance. Correct answer. B. Minimum necessary force. Explanation. The key principle that guides the use of force policies and procedures for law enforcement officers in Michigan is the concept of using minimum necessary force to achieve lawful objectives while minimizing the risk of harm to individuals. Officers are trained to assess situations dynamically, apply de-escalation techniques, and use force only as a last resort when lesser measures are ineffective or impractical. The emphasis on minimum necessary force underscores the importance of proportionality, reasonableness, and respect for the sanctity of human life in law enforcement interactions, ensuring that force is employed judiciously and in accordance with established standards and legal requirements. Question 18. How does community policing differ from traditional law enforcement approaches in Michigan? A. Community policing focuses on reactive responses to crime. B. Traditional policing emphasizes centralized decision-making. C. Community policing prioritizes prevention and interaction with residents. D. Traditional policing isolates officers from public engagement. Correct answer. C. Community policing prioritizes prevention and interaction with residents. Explanation. Community policing in Michigan differs from traditional law enforcement approaches by emphasizing proactive crime prevention, collaborative problem solving, and positive interactions between officers and community members. Community policing involves building partnerships, engaging residents in crime prevention efforts, and fostering trust and cooperation to address public safety concerns effectively. By involving the community in problem identification, resolution, and decision-making, law enforcement agencies can tailor strategies, resources, and responses to local needs and priorities, enhancing public satisfaction, mutual respect, and overall effectiveness in maintaining safe and secure environments. Question 19. What are the key elements of the Miranda warning, as required by law in Michigan? A. Right to an attorney and right to remain silent. B. Right to a jury trial and right to confront witnesses. C. Right to immediate release and right to cross-examine accusers. D. Right to a fair trial and right to speedy disposition. Correct answer, A. Right to an attorney and right to remain silent. Explanation. The Miranda warning, based on the landmark U.S. Supreme Court case Miranda v. Arizona, includes informing individuals of their rights to an attorney and to remain silent when in police custody and being interrogated. This warning serves to protect a suspect's Fifth Amendment rights against self-incrimination and Sixth Amendment rights to legal counsel. Law enforcement officers in Michigan must provide individuals with the Miranda warning before conducting custodial interrogations to ensure that they are aware of their rights and can make informed decisions about their interactions with law enforcement. Question 20. Officer Martinez is on patrol in Detroit when he witnesses a hit-and-run accident. What immediate actions should Officer Martinez take in response to this incident? A. Pursue the fleeing vehicle and apprehend the driver. B. Render aid to the injured parties and document the accident scene. C. Ignore the accident and continue with regular patrol duties. D. Report the incident to the dispatcher and wait for backup. Correct answer, B. Render aid to the injured parties and document the accident scene. Explanation. In response to witnessing a hit-and-run accident in Detroit, Officer Martinez should prioritize rendering aid to any injured parties, securing the accident scene, and documenting relevant details to assist with the investigation. Providing medical assistance, ensuring the safety of individuals involved, and collecting evidence, such as witness statements, vehicle descriptions, and damage assessments, are critical initial actions to preserve the integrity of the scene and facilitate follow-up investigations. By taking prompt and comprehensive measures, Officer Martinez can help ensure accountability, support victims, and contribute to the resolution of the hit-and-run incident. Question 21. How does implicit bias impact police-community relations in Michigan? A. Improves trust and mutual understanding. B. Reinforces stereotypes and discriminatory practices. C. Enhances transparency and accountability. D. Fosters positive interactions and cooperation. Correct answer, B. Reinforces stereotypes and discriminatory practices. Explanation. Implicit bias, or unconscious attitudes and beliefs that influence behavior, can have a significant impact on police-community relations in Michigan by reinforcing stereotypes, perpetuating discriminatory practices, and eroding trust between law enforcement and marginalized communities. Biases based on race, ethnicity, gender, or other factors can affect officer decision-making, interactions with the public, and outcomes of law enforcement actions, leading to disparities in policing practices and perceptions of unfair treatment. Addressing implicit bias through awareness, training, and accountability measures is crucial to promoting equity, justice, and positive relationships between law enforcement and the diverse communities they serve. Question 22. What is the role of a police sergeant in a law enforcement agency in Michigan? A. Oversees administrative tasks and budget management. B. Directly engages with the community in outreach programs. C. Conducts criminal investigations and makes arrests. D. Provides supervision, guidance, and leadership to officers. Correct answer. D. Provides supervision, guidance, and leadership to officers. Explanation. A police sergeant in a law enforcement agency in Michigan plays a crucial role in providing supervision, guidance, and leadership to officers under their command. Sergeants are responsible for overseeing day-to-day operations, ensuring compliance with policies and procedures, and supporting the professional development and performance of their subordinates. By offering direction, mentorship, and accountability, police sergeants help maintain discipline, effectiveness, and morale within their units, contributing to the overall success and integrity of the agency's law enforcement activities. Question 23. What safeguards are in place to protect the privacy rights of individuals during police encounters in Michigan? A. Body-worn cameras and audio recording devices. B. Open access policies to public information. C. Unlimited access to personal data and communications. D. Mandatory disclosure of confidential information. Correct answer. A. Body-worn cameras and audio recording devices. Explanation. Safeguards such as body-worn cameras and audio recording devices are implemented in Michigan to protect the privacy rights of individuals during police encounters by documenting interactions, capturing evidence, and promoting accountability in law enforcement activities. Body-worn cameras record visual and audio information during interactions between officers and civilians, enhancing transparency, credibility, and objectivity in reporting incidents and resolving disputes. By carefully managing data retention, access, and disclosure policies, agencies can balance the interests of privacy protection and law enforcement accountability, fostering public trust and confidence in police practices. Question 24. How does the concept of procedural justice influence police-community interactions in Michigan? A. Enforces strict adherence to rules and regulations. B. Promotes fairness, respect, and transparency. C. Prioritizes efficiency and expediency in enforcement actions. D. Disregards community feedback and concerns. Correct answer. B. Promotes fairness, respect, and transparency. Explanation. Procedural justice, a concept emphasizing fairness, respect, and transparency in law enforcement interactions, plays a crucial role in shaping police-community relations in Michigan by promoting trust, legitimacy, and cooperation between officers and residents. Applying principles of procedural justice involves engaging with individuals respectfully, explaining actions clearly, allowing for voice and input, and ensuring impartial treatment in encounters with the public. By demonstrating fairness, accountability, and ethical conduct, law enforcement agencies can foster positive perceptions, enhance community engagement, and build constructive partnerships that contribute to public safety and well-being. Question 25. What strategies can law enforcement agencies in Michigan implement to promote diversity and equity within their ranks? A. Implementing quotas based on demographic factors. B. Establishing mentorship programs for underrepresented groups. C. Bypassing recruitment efforts and hiring practices. D. Avoiding discussions on diversity and inclusion. Correct answer. B. Establishing mentorship programs for underrepresented groups. Explanation. One key strategy that law enforcement agencies in Michigan can implement to promote diversity and equity within their ranks is establishing mentorship programs for underrepresented groups. Mentorship initiatives provide guidance, support, and professional development opportunities for individuals from diverse backgrounds, helping to address barriers to entry, retention, and advancement in law enforcement careers. By fostering a culture of inclusion, respect, and support, agencies can attract diverse talent, cultivate leadership skills, and enhance representation of marginalized communities within their ranks, contributing to organizational effectiveness, trust, and community relations. Question 26. Which of the following is a key component of community-oriented policing in Michigan? A. Reactive response to crime incidents. B. Building partnerships with residents and stakeholders. C. Racial profiling and discriminatory practices. D. Emphasis on militarized tactics. Correct answer. B. Building partnerships with residents and stakeholders. Explanation. Community-oriented policing in Michigan emphasizes building collaborative relationships with residents, local organizations, and stakeholders to address community issues, prevent crime, and enhance public safety. By engaging communities in problem-solving, decision-making, and service delivery, law enforcement agencies can create trust, cooperation, and mutual understanding, fostering sustainable solutions and positive outcomes. This approach shifts the focus from solely responding to crime incidents reactively to proactively engaging with the community, promoting shared responsibility, and building a safer, more resilient environment for all. Question 27. Which technology is commonly used by law enforcement agencies in Michigan to enhance communication and data sharing? A. Facial recognition software. B. License plate recognition systems. C. Body cameras for officers. D. Predictive policing algorithms. Correct answer. C. Body cameras for officers. Explanation. Body cameras are commonly used by law enforcement agencies in Michigan to enhance communication, transparency, and data sharing in interactions between officers and the public. These wearable devices record visual and audio information during police encounters, providing objective evidence, accountability, and documentation of incidents for investigative, training, and evidentiary purposes. By capturing critical perspectives, enhancing officer performance, and improving community relations, body cameras promote accountability, trust, and integrity in law enforcement practices, fostering positive outcomes and public confidence in policing efforts. Question 28. What is the purpose of the Law Enforcement Officers Indemnification and Defense Act in Michigan? A. Grants immunity to officers from civil lawsuits. B. Authorizes unlimited use of force by officers. C. Mandates racial profiling and discriminatory practices. D. Establishes accountability measures for officer misconduct. Correct answer. A. Grants immunity to officers from civil lawsuits. Explanation. The Law Enforcement Officers Indemnification and Defense Act in Michigan provides legal protection and indemnification to law enforcement officers from civil lawsuits arising from their official duties. This legislation shields officers from personal financial liability and legal expenses related to litigation, judgments, or settlements resulting from their authorized actions in the course of duty. While offering liability protection, this act also upholds accountability, adherence to policies, and lawful conduct by officers in carrying out their responsibilities, maintaining a balance between legal safeguards for officers and accountability for misconduct or violations of rights. Question 29. What role do Michigan's Police Training Council play in law enforcement agencies? A. Conducts internal affairs investigations. B. Establishes training standards and accreditation. C. Oversees officer disciplinary actions. D. Coordinates community outreach programs. Correct answer. B. Establishes training standards and accreditation. Explanation. Michigan's Police Training Council plays a crucial role in law enforcement agencies by establishing training standards, certifications, and accreditation for police officers to ensure professionalism, competence, and compliance with legal and ethical requirements. The Council sets guidelines, curriculum requirements, and proficiency standards for recruiting, hiring, training, and ongoing professional development of law enforcement personnel across the state. By promoting high-quality training, best practices, and continuous improvement, the Council enhances officer effectiveness, accountability, and public trust, advancing the quality and integrity of law enforcement practices in Michigan. Question 30. What is the significance of the Criminal Justice Information Center, CJIC, in Michigan? A. Facilitates open access to police records and databases. B. Coordinates interagency communication and data sharing. C. Conducts surveillance operations and intelligence gathering. D. advocates for decreased transparency and oversight. Correct answer. B. Coordinates interagency communication and data sharing. Explanation. The Criminal Justice Information Center, CJIC, in Michigan plays a critical role in coordinating interagency communication, data sharing, and information management to support law enforcement operations, investigations, and public safety initiatives statewide. The CJIC serves as a central hub for criminal justice information, analysis, and intelligence sharing among local, state, and federal agencies, facilitating collaboration, coordination, and effective responses to emerging threats, crime trends, and public safety challenges. By promoting data integrity, security, and interoperability, the CJIC enhances communication, situational awareness, and resource coordination among law enforcement partners, enhancing the overall effectiveness and efficiency of criminal justice efforts in Michigan.